Yeah, my first article is from The Information. Unfortunately, it's a paid article, but it is a very exclusive take they have on this topic. So I had no other chance to bring it than to bring it. And it is about Microsoft and OpenAI and the GPU power it actually needs to perform AI, work, if you want to call it so. And it is a very interesting information that The Information brought us today, because it is about Microsoft not being able to work internally on new features as much as they want to, because they have so much GPU and server space all reserved to customers of the Azure cloud. Everybody who's listening who does not know what the Azure cloud is like AWS, but from Microsoft. It's for businesses to use cloud computing services, and obviously also ChatGPT, OpenAI in its API, all of that is included in the Azure offerings. So if you want to use that, you need to be an Azure customer or use the free version. That being said, the big challenge there is that obviously all of that needs computing power, and Microsoft currently is estimating such a use of Office 365 computing power when the new features launch. They will be presented on Thursday, I think. So Thursday of this recording, for everybody who's listening a bit later, is the 23rd of March 2023, and Microsoft is estimating so much, plus the what customers already are using on the Azure space or cloud computing capabilities, that in the end Microsoft teams have to wait for days, sometimes weeks or even months to get approved for a certain amount of GPU power to use to develop new features. And that's interesting, because obviously to drive development even further, Microsoft needs to develop. So the balance between the one, having customers and using what is already existing, and developing new features, obviously is a very difficult one. Most of the customers don't experience any kind of delay in the use of their services. One customer stated the information that actually that customer is having issues in logging into it, but there was no comment from Microsoft about that. So, summary, Microsoft will launch new features on Office 365. With that, they are estimating that even more people will be using the services of OpenAI and ChatGPT 4 model. And that leads to a lot of the available GPU and computing power being blocked from internal developments at Microsoft. The solution to this is on the horizon. Microsoft is currently working with NVIDIA, testing out their new B2B GPU, or server GPU. B2B is wrong in that environment, to have access to even more powerful GPUs. However, that obviously is just a testing phase. So up until then, Microsoft will need to balance. But it's very interesting to see that such a tech giant with such tremendous success actually is struggling with that currently. And I hope they find the right balance, because I think the GPT-4 model is great, but we are definitely still on the brink of what's possible.
I mean, as you say, this is, for a big tech giant like them, I would have thought they either would anticipate that in one way or another, or, being aware that this could happen and take precautions. But it seems like this has been rather a surprise for them as well, the way you summarized the article.
As long as customers are not affected by it, for Microsoft business model today, this is not a big issue. But Microsoft now has a very interesting or very attractive position, because it is currently the leader of when we look at the big four tech companies, when it comes to the offerings of AI services to a wide array of customers, and not only to a very closed and exclusive test, looking at Google here. And therefore, I think it's quite challenging, and I hope they make the right decision, just as I said, because they need to evolve their features and test things properly, because otherwise, all of this is just one backlash away from maybe being just one of the big tech companies again. Right now, everybody's looking at OpenAI as like the unicorn in all of those, even though it's not fair when we look at other artificial intelligence models. But yeah, still, I agree with you. It's quite interesting that they have this challenges. But last sentence. To be also fair, I think the amount of computing that is currently needed for big operations like globally available Bing Chat, ChatGPT as its own thing, even though they also have own computing capacity. We saw ChatGPT-4 or GPT-4 model being much more powerful, also needing more computing power, partnering with Microsoft there. Azure Cloud being generally the one that needs all the computing power anyways. That's what it was predicted for. And now adding the 365 Office Cloud to those offerings, and then therefore bringing it to, I mean, we will use it. In India, people will use it. In the United States, people use it. I think they just, A, need more data, and B, I think we cannot just not really comprehend what it means to operate all of that fluently and efficiently. I think Microsoft is, in Germany you would say händeringend, desperately looking to expand in that field because they just need more.